C'est parfait. Ah oui. C'est parfait. Hello, wonderful people. Connor Whitmore here again with another video for you on the Nawtystep channel, and it's time for another Extra Nawties monthly roundup. Time for a load of quick album, EP, and compilation reviews right here. That is what we do on these videos, covering the very end of September and up to and including the 28th of October, covering them in alphabetical order by way of artist or record label name, and they're all linked below at special mentions at the end. Yeah, let's go. And kicking off this installment, we have the new EP from Autumn Hate, Ego Stream. A solid collection, I think, notably sharper from him in the production. Not many ideas I'm outright enjoying here. I think, you know, Demons and Tonal Rhythm in particular, the drops for me in those ones are just a bit straightforward, and I feel like he could have been a bit more inventive, but, you know, on the other side you have Uplift, which for me is fantastic, kind of like Moody Good or Chi on crack, I would say. Yeah, the energy is brilliant, really good, and Ego Stream is a beautiful way to end as well. So yeah, overall quite solid, and he is one of the best on the rise, I think, in dubstep at the moment, I would say. Next up, new EP from Aweminus, and my word, this guy is just an absolute madman, I swear. Like, the amount he puts out, the quality, it's metallic rhythm, which I haven't been very effusive about in the last couple of years or so, but, you know, when it's produced right, with enough going on, it's just so good. Crack Rock, I think track 3 here, might be number 2, could be wrong. I wasn't as big on, but even there, the liveliness of it is just so on point. And the rest are straight up pretty sick. So, you know, it's kind of got to the point where I'm questioning, is this one person? Surely it can't be. Again, the amount coming out, the quality of it, I don't really believe it, but honestly, that is how good he's been last couple of years for sure. New compilation from Bassweight Records, which I have to admit I'm not quite as enthused by as I thought I would be with this collection. You know, I love their whole thing, pushing the underground right to the front and how much they celebrate that. I just don't find that much invention here, really. You know, little flavour for me on display. You know, the music here that we get is exciting, large, in your face, all of that, but next to no ideas that I can really remember, you know, to my mind. I can't really just pick out a load that really stick out here. Some good production, but no standout, if I'm being honest. You know, maybe the Gorm, I did like the Gorm, and for me, did stand out a bit, but, you know, not completely. And when it comes to the deluxe as well, only one on that really got me going, which was the Dex Arson and Charlie Zane. So all in all, yeah, these two together, somewhat disappointing, I think, compared to past efforts. New EP from Butte Noise has some of the most creative dubstep-leaning material I've heard in a while. Parts of Nature, New Kong, Jungle Heat, really fun and unpredictable. I would still say that stuff is in the minority here. You know, most drops we get are still quite straightforward, and the production, although fresh and shiny, does need refining at points. But overall, a lot going for it. I think the introductions as well here are really good, you know, massive selling point for the EP overall, so extremely encouraging going forward. Next up, Binks and Bro Safari, a pairing I enjoy quite a bit, and I'm happy, I'm glad they actually went ahead and made an EP together. I prefer the second half a lot more here, you know, more exact with the ideas and a bit more attitude and directness to the vocal sections, i.e. the drops. It's just a bit meaner overall, you know, delivers a bit more feeling, a bit naughtier, if you get me, but yeah, all in all, pretty good. After that, the so-called biggest remix competition of all time, which is actually a lot better than I thought it would be. In all honesty, you know, I didn't expect the quality to be so high, but it's consistently pretty sick, ideas and production. A few that don't provide that much, but that's kind of expected, I suppose. Out of about 18 tunes, I think it is. But yeah, my favourites here come from Sharks, Skybreak, and then just behind, you know, not far behind, Aaron Steele and Heaven Fell and Mob. Decent compilation here from Exobolt, a lot of it not really relevant for the channel, of course, but the heavier leaning stuff I definitely want to highlight here. In particular for me, the Disdain and Paper Skies and Azazel. But if you're in need of a very fun, joyous, colourful, uplifting listen, then yeah, check it out. New album from Figure is just so overbearing, unnecessarily loud, hardly any variation. there used to be so much creation in his ideas, but this is just harsh, formulaic. You know, if we're talking about good here, I find the introduction fantastic, and Cannibal Inferno is okay. But after that, beyond that, no standout. It all just kind of blends into one. New album from Gydra, which isn't bad. You know, some pretty good tunes here across the 15. Hangjaw, Battle Dance, Wipe, Dragon's Lair. But they are kind of drowned out by the other 10 or 11 or so, which just aren't remarkable in any way, I wouldn't say. Quite ordinary in the production and the ideas, you know. Yeah, some good here, no doubt, but overall, just okay. So last time I talked about this producer, my dad told me off for saying Gyrofield as opposed to Gyrofield, but yeah, I'm gonna go with that today. Gyrofield, new EP, absolutely next level production, mind-boggling, insane. The kind of music that just leaves you gawping, really, you know, mouth agape kind of music. Wouldn't say there are many ideas here that I feel I can get into, per se. Memorable material to kind of bring you back in. Picks up in the second half a bit in that respect, but overall, for the most part here, not a lot of catchiness, I wouldn't say. Beyond that, the range of sounds, the cleanliness of all of it, the overall makeup of the music makes it one of the best I heard last month, no question, maybe even in the whole year. Remains one of the most promising D&B musicians right now, no question. New EP from Infekt, and once again here, I think a thing of, if you like his style, then you'll love it, basically. You'll love the collection. That thick, trudging rhythm sound, you know, very beefy, bouncy. Not many ideas here that I'm aching to go back to. I find a lot of it sounds a bit too similar in the ideas for me personally, but I did enjoy My Name Is a fair bit, and also the title tune is pretty fat with a bit more going on. So yeah, overall, alright. New EP from Kanan, for me, shows genuinely huge improvements, you know, considering his previous stuff. The production, the structure, the formulation of ideas, musically, everything just sounds better, in my opinion. You know, I'm not sitting here like, it's amazing, I'm not blown away, or anything like that. I still think he needs something particular, stylistically, to kind of separate him from other producers, but with underground musicians, it's about bettering yourself constantly, and we definitely get that here. And yeah, have to be honest, it leaves me excited for what he's got going forward. This compilation right here was a reminder for me of how much I love house music, which is mile and away the biggest compliment I can pay it. You know, not perfect or anything like that, but just so many bops here, my fucking god. You know, you got Realist and Don't Talk by Malar, you've got the Alert, the Miles and Fratter, the Keeled, the Hooders, the Honey and Badger remix as well. Just a really solid amount of slappers and a good comp overall. And if you're into house music, even remotely, and you haven't checked it, check it. New album from Matt Zoe is alright. You know, I went into it really enjoying the next chapter. You know, one of my favourites of the year so far, track 3 here. But unfortunately, having listened to the album a fair few times, that tune is still mile and away my favourite here, you know, by quite a long shot. Whether it's the production or the idea, I just don't find a lot to engage with here. I enjoy Petrushka and Dangerous Feeling of the newer stuff, and I like the range of styles here across the album, and the second half overall just a bit better than the first, I would say. But the vast majority of material here just doesn't feel that refined and together, I would say, especially in comparison to what we're used to from him. New EP, album, collection kind of thing here from Oolacile, which is the kind of project where I can see why people like it, but it just isn't really for me. There's maybe 1 or 2 drops here where the snare perfectly matches and backs up what's on top, and for me, that really does ruin the impact of the idea and the freshness of the sound we get. Because some of them are quite good, you know, we have parts of The Question and Sentience and Lost and Found, but beyond that, there's also many very straightforward and aimless ideas, just sounds being presented and kinda laid out with no coherency or genuine feeling between them, if you get me. Not ideas that I want to go back to, basically. Whilst I love the overall theme here and the energy of it, the EP overall, it's just not doing a lot for me with the ideas, I have to say. Another EP album kind of situation here with Posse and Former. First listen, I wasn't really feeling it all that much. I just found it a bit plain. I enjoyed the production and the general atmosphere a lot, but the ideas didn't really feel that inspired. But the more I've gone back to it and kind of checked it out, the ideas have really left their mark on me. You know, it's the kind of music where I think you have to give it multiple listens and the moments will just reveal themselves to you more and more over time. No whole songs here that I'm loving, but a lot of memorable moments just kind of dropped in across the stretch of it. My pick at the moment would have to be Missile, which for me sounds like them together the most out of all of them. Well worth a listen if you haven't checked it out. Again, just don't really get the appeal of the Prototypes music. I mean, production alone really does turn me off it. The heaviness hardly feels rounded or full here, in my opinion, quite distant in feel, like the mixing is off or something, not properly defined, if you get me. Either that or the ideas just don't push far enough. Again, that thing of being a bit ordinary, I would have to say. Some decent vocals here, you know, I'll give it that. I think Oxygen is the best here for that, and the closer, the title tune, is also good. But once more, overall, just not throwing me or anything like that. New EP from Rusko, which I would have to say, of the EPs he's put out last couple of years or so, this would have to be my least favourite. Only Carrot Cake here that I can really get into as an idea. And even then, the production isn't amazing. But after that, you have Ecstasy Dreamland, which is decent, you know, a good idea as well, but doesn't quite take it far enough in my opinion. So yeah, good aspects here, but as a whole thing, not quite winning me over. More weird, wavy, wobbly madness here from, in my opinion, the best duo in experimental bass music, that being Shanghai Doom. Many more ideas to hang on to and remember here from them than usual, which is great, and the freshness of sound, the range of it as well, it just completely grabs the attention, in my opinion, and is amazing on the ear. And you've got the kind of horror theme running through it again, so yeah, overall just really solid. Collaboration album from Subfocus and Wilkinson, and if you're going into it expecting something outright heavy from them, you won't get it. But if you're open to a load of old school approaches being delivered in quite a classy way, fantastic vocals, good production, a mix of dark and light, and all the different tones in between that, then you will like it. Not as iconic in feel in the second half, I wouldn't say, you know, becomes a bit more ordinary as it goes on, but the good stuff in that first half really leaves its mark, you know. Overall, a very enjoyable LP, and it just exudes class and feels effortless as well. Latest album from Tchami, which is okay, you know, some definite highlights here. The collaborations with Zhu and Tony Romero are good, and on the lighter side we have Proud and Buenos Aires, which in my opinion, yeah, also very good. But a lot of it is just so plain ideas-wise. That thing, again, of merging into one another and not a lot to distinguish between some of them. You know, not bad music in any way, but just feels very commercial and lacking in ambition. Hardly imaginative at all. And when I think about how off the wall and creative his music used to be, just hardly any of that here, I have to be honest. You know, the vibe is consistent, but background music more than anything here for me. Another EP from Taboo, which is basically just a better version of the other EP he put out recently. Catchier ideas, better production, just more like Taboo in full flow, if I'm being honest. I'm not blown away here, not an outright amazing collection or anything like that, but just his style done better than previously, if you get me. And my pick here would have to be Warhead. I mean, that is a top tune. And ultimately, new album from Uzi, which, yeah, I mean, just exactly what you'd expect, I think. A lot of trap beats, clean production, a few hip-hoppy rap vocals dropped in, nothing exceptional. Not much particularly memorable or statement-making about it, barring maybe the odd couple here and there over the course of it. Just a solid showing of what he's about, I would say. And finally, new EP from Valentino Khan, which is probably the most underwhelming EP of the month considering how good he's been last couple of years or so. The ideas are okay, but the production, a lot of it just sounds so off. Like, the percussion in every tune is really quite bad, enough to turn me off completely. I appreciate that he's, you know, trying new styles, but it just sounds like a different producer altogether, I have to say. But there we have it. Gosh, what a monstrous video. The October 2020 edition of the Extra Nawties monthly roundup. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, time for the special or extra mentions. Maybe the most we've ever had. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that, like 70 or so, something like that. Mad month. I'm going to put them up on the screen here for you all to see. Pause if you want to note them down, take a screenshot, whatever. They are not, I repeat, not in the description. Okay? Regarding what I reviewed in this video, which ones did you enjoy? Which others not so much? Are there any that I missed out? Drop all of your views, thoughts and opinions in the comments section down below. But beyond that, keep it naughty. If it's naughty, then you know. And I shall see all of you legends in the next one. Peace.